Hi, my name is Matthew McClanahan. I was the one and only assistant camera on The Stranger, as well as lead composer and music supervisor on The Stranger.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Beitler, and I played The Stranger.
Harry Anishek, first AD, co-producer.
My name's Jerry Cullum. I was the production designer and the digital colorist for The Stranger.
Well, we were shooting in the middle of summer in Kensington.
It's like, yeah, stuff with violence and prostitutes and blood and bad words. You know, I'm coming out of high school.
I remember we wanted it to be kind of an oversaturated, kind of inspired by those spaghetti westerns and kind of like those sunset colors and things like that, if I'm remembering correctly, but also to get kind of the grittiness of the city.
I enjoyed running around. I enjoyed putting out fires if there was one. I enjoyed blowing my top. Not that I did. I don't think I did. Maybe some other people say that, but I don't know. But I enjoyed the busyness of it.
Most of the shoots weren't bad. I mean, cast and crew, they were great, and it was a great crew to work with. Everyone got along, and you know, if you could see like people getting tired, you know, somebody would pick you up and, you know, make you laugh, and then you kind of like reset. The one night specifically that I remember was the night where the stranger enters Elle's room and wakes her up in the middle of the night. That was one of our longest days, and I think it was like, had to be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and everyone's just worn out, and you know, they're trying to get these lights to the way they like them. Kyle's working to try to set them up, and it's just bad, and people are like drowning, forgetting their lines. I know I'm forgetting my lines because, you know, everyone's tired, and I said to myself, and I believe I said out loud, it's like, okay guys, let's get this.
I got stopped by the cops for making an illegal turn onto Allegheny Avenue, wondering why I was in that part of the city, what I was doing there, and I had to tell them I was working on a student production.
There's a scene in the movie that I'm in, so we didn't have anybody for the role, and it was the day before the shoot. So me and Kyle Pasquino, last minute, decide, well, we'll be in the movie because, hey, it's an Irish gang now. My last name's McClanahan. That'll work. And my audition for it was me walking up to Brendan with a fake gun and going, how was that negative part? Was like good.
I was craving for Mr. Softy all summer. Here I get these like fly-by-night ice cream trucks, you know, playing all sorts of shit, and you know, I wanted, in this regard, I wanted the brand name. I wanted Mr. Softy ice cream. Only the best for my crew, only the best for my team, only the best for my production, so to speak, right? And the truck came down. Finally, a Mr. Softy truck came out, and I just went nuts. I bought for everybody if you wanted ice cream. I was just so happy. That was a nice moment.
Working with Frank was awesome. You know, he looks like this big rough guy that'll tear your head off, and in the film, you know, I got to beat him up. In real life, that wouldn't happen. You know, he would kill me.
So I remember Brett Williams getting like really mad at me when I spit on him. And I did it. I wasn't even really thinking. You know, when you're a little kid and you got dirt on your face and your mom goes like, you know, and like wipes it off. It was sort of like that. He was supposed to be a gunshot victim, and I wanted to get. We made like a hole in his shirt, and we had like we'd mixed up some artificial blood, so we had some of that on there. But I just wanted to get the dirt into his shirt, so I sort of picked up dirt on the ground and spit in it, and sort of mixed it in my hand, and then spread it, you know, on his shirt, and he just freaked out about it. So
Brendan Joyce, the director, him and Steve Kane kind of had this like bickering going back and forth on the alleyway. It was fun bickering, where Brendan would yell at Steve to do something, and Steve would do the action, but ask why he was doing it. And one time Brendan was like, okay, Steve, lay down. And Steve was like, I don't know why. Why do you want me to lay down? Why am I doing this? And of course he laid down, and Brendan said, close your eyes. And Steve said, why? Why am I closing my eyes? And I don't know what Brendan had. He had some like dirt or some kind of dry eraser and started rubbing it on his head. And Steve said, what are you doing? I feel, what is that? What are you doing? And Brendan's yelling at him, just shut up, just take it.
Me and Paul was probably the funniest thing you could watch. I had just completed the score, and even started working on the other scenes that we didn't have music for, and so I don't quite know what brought it about. I think I just brought all the music files into Monco with me, and went to the studio where Paul was working on the sound mix. And I gave him all the files, and I just kind of wanted to sit there, because when I had written the songs, I had written them a certain way so they kind of melt in and out of the scene. So I wanted to make sure that Paul kind of knew where those points were. It turned into a week-long session of me and Paul in this box. He's at the console, and I'm like that backseat driver that's just really annoying. And I'm like, Paul, what are you doing? Paul, come on, don't dip it there. Paul, that fades too fast. Paul, you gotta spring those. The strings have to go up slowly. The strings have to rise slowly. It's gotta melt, Paul. Can't jump. I must have drove the boy crazy, because I was just sitting back there. Oh, I want the score to be perfect. At the end of the day, it was.
I think in terms of like the post-production supervision, that was just going back and forth with audio and things like that. Sometimes got a little bit problematic.
I thought the deadline for completion on the score and everything was 2 weeks before the actual deadline. So I, for an entire week, was working towards a deadline that was 2 weeks early. I'm like pumping out songs like crazy, trying to keep up with everything.
It was a challenge just getting, I do remember just trying to get different pieces of things from different people.
So eventually, it came to like the last 3 or 4 days of post. Paul had already mixed in my score. That was already in The Stranger. Kyle was working on some other edit of The Stranger, and I think I had talked to you, and you're like, we need to do the music now. So I went into one of the sound booths and opened my laptop and wrote in 10 minutes scores to the scenes that we didn't have scored out yet.
It's like once it's shot, people feel like it's over, but it's not over. It's just barely started, really. So yeah, that part's always a challenge, like getting to the end. It seems like the closer you get to the end, the harder it gets to drag your project across the finish line.